Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. This is Teacher Joanna, and I will be your teacher in MAPE. Now, before we start our lesson, let us first have these words. Are you ready? Okay, very good. So, everyone, let us read cause. Again, cause. And then we have nourishment. Everyone, let us read nourishment. And then we have thrive. Everyone, thrive. And then we have infection. Everyone, let us read infection. Okay, so the words are cause, nourishment, thrive, and infection. Now, do you know the meaning of the words? Okay, so let us know the meaning of the words. Everyone, when we say cause, make something happen. That's the meaning of cause. Okay, so when we say nourishment, a food or other substance necessary for growth, that is nourishment. And when we say thrive, grow or develop well, that is thrive. And then when we say infection, it is the state of being infected. Now those are the meaning of the words. Now today we are going to talk about the transmission of communicable diseases. Now what do you want to learn? What are the communicable diseases? So we are going to answer that question at the end of this lesson. Now are you ready to listen? Very good. So if you are ready to listen, sit up straight, eyes on me and ears on me. Now before anything else, of course, we have to know what is communicable diseases. When we say communicable diseases, these are the illnesses that can spread from one person to another. Now these diseases may be caused by germs or diseases or disease agents, also known as pathogens. So what is pathogen, everyone? This is the disease agent. So when we say disease agent, this is also known as pathogens. Again, communicable diseases are illnesses that can be spread from one person to another. Now, I want you to know that there are 4 kinds of pathogens. Remember, pathogens are disease agents. Now, the first one is bacteria. When we say bacteria, these are organisms that get nutrients from their environment in order to live. Again, what is bacteria? Organisms that get nutrients from their environment in order to live. Now remember that sometimes they stay inside our body and get nutrients from it. Okay, so bacteria can stay inside our body and get nutrients from us. Now bacteria can cause infections such as sore throat, ear infection, tooth cavities, and pneumonia. So what are the infections that bacteria causes? We have sore throat, we have ear infection, tooth cavity, and pneumonia. Now, I want you also to know that not all bacteria are, bacteria are bad. So, good bacteria live in our intestine. So, where does the good bacteria live? In our intestine. And this good bacteria helps us utilize nutrients we get from the food. So that is the help of the good bacteria. Now we have bad bacteria and we have good bacteria. Wherein good bacteria, it lives in our intestine and it helps us to utilize nutrients that we get from the food. While bad bacteria can cause infections such as sore throat, ear infection, tooth cavities, and pneumonia. Again, bacteria are organisms that get nutrients from their environment in order to live. And it also can stay inside our body. So that is the first pathogen. And then the next one, we have virus. When we say virus, these are the organisms that need to live inside a living cell in order to grow and reproduce. So what is a virus? An organism that need to live inside a living cell in order for them to grow and reproduce. Do you understand me? So where the bacteria lives, where the virus lives is called the host. So what do we call the home of viruses? The host. So the host can be a person, an animal, or a plant. Remember that a host can be a person, animal, or a plant. Again, viruses are organisms that needs to live inside a living cell. So in order for them to grow and reproduce. So remember that when viruses enter the body, it can cause illnesses such as chickenpox, measles, and flu. So what are the illnesses? The illnesses that is caused by the virus? We have chickenpox, we have measles, and we have flu. Again, what is a virus? An organism that needs to live inside a living cell in order for them to grow and reproduce. Do you understand me? So what are the hosts of these viruses? A person, an animal, or a plant. So that is the second pathogen. Now, let us proceed to the third pathogen, wherein we call it as fungi. So fungi, these are plant-like organisms. So again, what is fungi? A plant-like organisms. Now, unlike plants which can produce their own food, fungi gets nutrients from living organisms like person, animals, and plants. Remember that it is just a plant-like. Okay, so the difference between fungi and a real plant is that a real plant can produce their own food, but fungi cannot. Okay, so they get the nutrients from the living organisms such as person, animals, and plants. Now, fungi thrive in damp or warm place. So where does fungi thrive? In a damp or warm place. So most kind of fungi do not pose as danger to healthy people. So example of fungi is athlete's foot. That is an example of fungi. So some fungi do not pose as danger to a healthy person, okay, or to healthy people. Do you understand? So that is the third pathogen, the fungi, wherein it is a plant-like organism, but it cannot produce its own food because it gets the nutrient from other living things. Do you understand me? And this is the last pathogen. The last pathogen is what we call parasites. Parasites are organisms that get nourishment and protection from other living organisms called the host. So they get protection and nourishment from the host, that is parasite. Now parasites are dependent on their host for their life function. So again, what is parasite? Okay, parasites are organisms that gets the nutrients and protection from other living organism, and then we call it the host. Now remember that a parasite is dependent. Okay, they are dependent on their host for their life function. Unfortunately, parasites inflict harm on their host. Okay, so host. Okay, so not unlike fungi, parasites inflict harm, okay, to the host. Okay, so viruses are common parasites. So the size of parasites varies depending on their kinds. Some are microscopic, single-celled organisms, while others are worms visible to the naked eye. So the size of a parasite varies depending on their kind. So there are parasites that can be microscopic, and there are parasites that are visible in the naked eye. So again, everyone, what is communicable diseases? Communicable diseases are the illnesses that can spread from one person to another. So the disease agent is what we call pathogens, and we have 4 pathogens. Everyone, what are those? Bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. So I have here a question, and let us answer this question. Okay, so before the question, I would like to show you the pictures of the bacteria, the fungi, the viruses, and the parasites. Okay, so that's the picture. Okay, so here are my questions. Everyone, what is communicable diseases? When we say communicable diseases, these are illnesses that can be transferred from one person to another. Okay, so that is communicable diseases. So what is pathogens? When we say pathogens, these are the disease agents. Okay, so what are the 4 kinds of pathogens? We have the bacteria, the virus, the fungi, and the parasites. Do you understand? Okay, so what did you learn today? Today we have learned about transmission of communicable diseases. When we say communicable diseases, these are the illnesses that can be transferred from one person to another. Now we have disease agents and we call it the pathogens. So we have 4 kinds of pathogens wherein these are the bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. So if you really did understand the lesson, let us proceed to your practice exercise. Here is your practice exercise. You're going to answer engage letter A, page 391. Now that is your practice exercise. And here is your evaluation. You're going to answer engage letter B, page 392. So don't forget to answer your practice exercise and your evaluation because I am going to check it. Do you understand? So, here is your assignment. You're going to answer engage letter C, page 392. Now, don't forget to do your assignment because I'm going to check it as well. Do you understand? So, thank you for listening. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.